Using VMware App Volumes with Citrix XenDesktop 7.9. Welcome everyone, my name is Faisal, and in this video I will demonstrate to you VMware App Volumes, aka Cloud Volumes, and I will demonstrate that how well VMware App Volumes mingles or works with Citrix XenDesktop 7.x. Could be 7.9 or it could be the latest 7.12, 13. VMware App Volumes, it's have some sort of similarity like Citrix XenDesktop App Disks. If you remember my previous video, I demonstrated to you Citrix XenDesktop App Disks feature, right? Where there is a disk created and that disk will be associated to virtual desktop. Applications will not be a part of golden image. It's sort of a similar concept. On the other hand, it's a little bit more versatile in a way that, for example, app disks works only with the random type of machine catalog with data discard. Like caching should be disabled on those machine catalog. On the other hand, for VMware App Volumes, you can work with random machine catalog as well as with static machine catalogs. You can use with even the type of, and any type of delivery groups, of course, whether it's static or dynamic. And you can use even Citrix personal vDisks also along with VMware App Volumes. Another good thing is the user doesn't have to log off, log back in or restart the virtual desktop environment to get the application. User desktop can be refreshed in real time while the user is logged in, and he can get those applications. I will demonstrate everything to you and then it will be more clear. So VMware App Volumes works with, of course, VMware vSphere. You can use, and I would say here, it would be better if I add Horizon View. VMware Apps Volume works with VMware vSphere environment, and this is the important thing you need to understand. App Volumes require VMware vSphere infrastructure. It requires vCenter, it requires ESXi. It doesn't work with Citrix XenDesktop Hypervisor. It doesn't work with Citrix Xen Server Hypervisor, or it doesn't work with Microsoft Hyper-V or System Center. You need to have VMware vSphere virtual infrastructure. App Volumes, as far as the App Volumes is concerned, yes, they can complement Horizon View environment. You can publish applications in Horizon View environment. You can publish applications in Citrix XenDesktop or Citrix XenApp environment or Microsoft Remote Desktop Session Host environment. When you use App Volumes, you create Appstacks, which are read-only containers, which contains the application that you install. Appstacks are nothing but a VMDK, which contains all your application that you install, but they are read-only. Means if a user install any other application by himself in addition to those applications which are assigned to Appstacks, that application will not be written to that Appstack VMDK. It will be written somewhere else. It could be a temporary thing that might get away in case if you are using random, or in case if you are using static assignments, or writable volumes, which is another thing from App Volumes. Writable volumes, as the name says, they are the writable VMDK. So those changes or those new applications the user will install by himself will be written to writable volumes. If you're not using writable volumes, you're using, let's say, Citrix Personal vDisk, then, excuse me, sorry about that, then those changes will part of that. Appstacks, they are just readable. Okay, these are the major components of App Volumes. App Volumes Administrator, the one someone who can manage and configure App Volume. App Volume Manager, it has two software components. App Volume Manager, which is a console that you connect to and configure App Volume. Uh, sorry, you configure App Volume uh, using App Volume Manager. It's a graph GUI based console. And App Volume Agent, which is a software that you install in your golden image, which has only Windows, plain vanilla Windows installation, as well as you install on a target virtual machine. Target virtual machine is the virtual machine on which you will, with the help of that, you will provision applications like VMware ThinApp or Citrix Profile or AppV. You install AppV client or VMware ThinApp on a virtual machine. Take as right, it do the pre-scan and then install application, right, and then the post-scan, so right. So basically that's the scenario. App Volume agent you install in your golden image as well as on the virtual machine on with the help of you will be provisioning your applications with. And App Volume requires SQL Server database. In my lab environment, I'm using SQL Express, works fine. Appstack, as I mentioned, they are readable containers, which contains your applications that you provision to users or deliver to users through Appstacks, which are basically VMDK files. And writable volume, it's another type of VMDK file, but it's writable. It allows users to install their own applications. Provisioning desktop, as I mentioned, via App Volume agent, you will be installing in the golden image, as well as you will be installing into a VM on which you will be installing applications. So when you will install an application, you will enable the provisioning. So App Volume agent will record and monitor all the activity inside the VM, like which applications are you installing. Once you finish installing applications, you stop provisioning. So this way, the App Volumes knows, okay, these are the applications that you want to install or that you want to publish. So those applications become part of that VMDK. And a VMware vCenter that I mentioned. Again, App Volumes requires VMware vSphere infrastructure or VMware vCenter or ESXi. It doesn't work with Hyper-V hypervisor. It doesn't work with Xen server hypervisor. You need to have VMware vSphere. So I think this is pretty much it, and now it's time for some live action, some demonstration. So let's get it on. Okay, so I'm on a server called Appvolumes, which is a part of domain90cents.com, and it has 4 gigs of RAM, like 4 CPUs, around 100 gigs of disk space, and this is the server on which I will be installing Appvolumes. First thing first, I need to install .NET Framework 3.5 to facilitate SQL Server installation. And then I have mounted the ISO for Appvolumes 2.12 on this machine. So let's run with installation of Appvolumes, Appvolume Manager in particular, because on this server we will be installing Appvolumes Manager, and as I mentioned in intro, Appvolumes Agent we installed on Golden Image as well as on target devices. Target devices means those devices or those virtual machines on which we provision applications, or with the help of those we provision applications. Okay, preparing to install Appvolumes installation. It's very simple. Configuration is the main thing. Configuration is also not complicated either, but installation is super easy. Just next finish that. So next, accept the license agreement. What you like to install? Of course, I would like to install Appvolumes Manager on this computer. Next, in lab, for lab purposes, I will use the local SQL Express database. Of course, in production environment, you will use an existing SQL database server, or you will install a new SQL database server. If it's highly available database installation, that would be better. Okay, SQL Server Express installation is taking place. It will take like 5 to 10 minutes. So what I can do, I can pause the video and I will be back when it's done. Okay, so SQL Express installation is complete, and now it's asking me to select the local or remote database. By default, SQL Express installation is selected, and connect using the SQL authentication or Windows integrated authentication. I will use systems account, which is okay for lab environment. I'm also okay with the default name of the database catalog that we create, and I don't have any, but I can select this option. It won't make any difference to me. Okay. By default, Appvolumes Manager listens on port 443, but if you like, in lab environment, you can also make it listen on port 80. I will suggest in production environment to use 443 only. And that's pretty much it. I'll say next. It will begin the installation of Appvolumes Manager. So while the installation is taking place, which will take around 5 to 10 minutes, I will pause the video and I will be back when it's done. Okay, so installation of Appvolumes Manager is completed, and that's what it says. This wizard has successfully installed Appvolumes Manager. Finish to exit, and you can see here I have an icon called Appvolumes Manager. Once again, Appvolumes Manager is a web-based console that you use to configure Appvolumes, and it is the backend application basically. It saves all the configurations to SQL Server database. So you can say Appvolumes Manager is the engine overall in totality, you can say, and agent, it's the part that we installed on virtual desktop environment on a golden image or on a target virtual machine that interacts or initiates communication with Appvolumes Manager. So that's it. And in next step, we will configure Appvolumes Manager. If I remember correctly, if I go to Appvolumes Manager, it would like to think we need to configure agent first on our target device. Okay, so, but just to, if I go, sorry, copy, say what, app volumes. Here it is. Welcome to App Volumes Manager. We can create and provision application groups called Appstack and deploy applications to users, computers, groups, and OUs, track and monitor application users, and other stuff. Prerequisite before, we need to install App Volume agents into golden image or virtual machine template and set up a clean desktop, virtual desktop, or virtual server for provisioning applications. And of course, we need to install agent on the golden image, as well as we need to install agent on a virtual machine that we'll be using for provisioning applications. So this is the next step. So let's start with it. Okay, I have a virtual machine here called W10 on my VMware infrastructure environment, and this is the virtual machine that I will be using to provision applications for App Volumes. This is not my base golden image, mind you. This is the virtual machine that I will be using to provision applications. So in order to provision application, the first requirement is I need to install App Volumes agent on a virtual machine that I will be using, which in my case is this one, W10. So I'll need to install App Volumes agent on it so that I can provision applications. So I have mounted App Volume CD here. So I'll install App Volume agent, and it's a prerequisite to configure App Volumes Manager. Of course, you can install at the same time on your golden image, which will be just plain Windows Windows OS. However, you can do it even later before provisioning your catalog. You have to do it, of course, before provisioning your catalog. What else installed on this computer at the moment? Of course, the Citrix VDI agent. We need to install Citrix VDI agent and App Volumes agent as well. Whether it's provisioning or virtual desktop, virtual machine like this one, or whether it's a golden image virtual machine, we need to install both. We need to install Citrix VDI agent or VDI component, because we're using Citrix XenDesktop anyway, and we need to install App Volumes agent as well. App Volume agent, of course, to provision applications and to make use of applications. Next, I'll install App Volume agent. Okay. It will ask me the IP address of App Volumes Manager, and the IP address is, in my case, 214. Port 443, disable certificate validation, because a self-signed certificate. Next, install, and that's pretty much it. So I will pause the video once it's and I will be back once it's completed. And here it is. The installation wizard has successfully installed App Volumes agent. That's it. It will ask for a reboot, and we need to do a restart, of course. And that's pretty much it. in the installation of App Volumes agent. It asks for an IP address of App Volumes Manager and the port, which is already there, 443, which is HTTPS. And after restart, I'll show you something there. Okay. Come on, come on. Okay. So if I log in, sorry. If I log in, I will see this message first time. App Volumes Manager is unconfigured. Virtualization is disabled, which is right, because at the moment App Volumes Manager is installed, however, it's not configured. So this is absolutely normal. So don't panic and don't worry about this message at all, because at the moment App Volumes Manager is unconfigured, unlicensed, so virtualization is disabled. So that's pretty much it. Now it's time to configure App Volumes Manager. Okay. Now we'll start configuring App Volumes Manager. So go get started. License information, it's an evaluation license, so absolutely fine with it. In this step, we need to configure Active Directory. It's asking for Active Directory domain name. In my case, is XenDesktop.com. Here I need to specify IP address of domain controller, or it could be FQDN. I'll go for IP address. You can go for, if you have multiple domain controllers, you can go for this format, but I'll do the com. LDAP base string. It could be if I want to use the entire Active Directory, or I would like to start search from a particular OU. I can specify, for example, corp, domain company, ID, sense, com. Username, I would say administrator. You can specify another username, of course. That's better, because just need a read-only access, but it's a lab environment, and I'm specifying just administrator account. And I will say create. It's creating a connection with Active Directory. All good. On port 389, which is the default port for LDAP. Next. Now, here you need to specify an administrator, someone who can administer App Volumes environment. So I would like to use a group called administrators or domain admins. Yeah, I would like to use domain admins group. And okay, if I just write a user See, only the groups I can specify, not individual users. So it's fine, domain admins is fine, or I can choose administrators, it's the same thing. Because domain admins inside administrators. So that's all fine. So basically in this screen you specify a group where Active Directory group, which should be responsible for administering App Volumes Manager. Now here we'll specify connection with vCenter. Okay, what's the IP address of my vCenter? That's a good question. Just so vcenter.itsense.com. So if I just ping vCenter, I think it will 210. It's the IP address of my vCenter. Just to confirm. Yeah, 210. Okay. 192.168.1.210. User's name, here you need to specify a managed service account, and the one which has the permission for to interact and manage with vCenter, to creating all those VMDKs and all uploading those VMDK and creating those VMDKs templates. I would like to use but it's a default single sign-on domain, but you can use something else if you like, and you should not use the administrator. Mount local, I would like to mount local copies of volumes if present, of course. If they are already, it will check the VM data stored if there is a local copy of those volumes, and if those app volumes Appstacks copies are there in the local data store of VMs, it will like to mount from there or mount from host. This is a good option. It basically decreases the burden on vCenter. So it can, what it does, if you select this checkbox, it tries to connect or establish connection directly with the ESXi host. So it decreases the burden on vCenter. Here I can specify the username and password. Here I'm specifying vCenter anyway, but there's nothing wrong. But don't forget, if you're specifying the username and password, make sure it's the same on every ESXi host, because there is no option here to, if let's say you have 10 hosts, so you can specify 10 different usernames and passwords for each ESXi host. Or you can just simply disable this option and just go through vCenter. It's testing connection. Oops, sorry, oh, no. Okay, it's SSL certificate, which is fine. This method is expected because it's self-signed certificate. And machine manager is all there. vCenter. Next. Default storage location, I would like to use the data store 1 because unfortunately this is the only data store I have, and these are the paths that it will be creating. Cloud volume /apps, and default storage location will be the same in my case, and this will be the path for writable volumes. Appstacks, which are readable containers, will be under cloud volume /apps, and these are the template thing, and writable volumes will be cloud volume /writable template, and that's what it explains here. Next, import immediately. So what it will do, it will import those templates VMDK and upload to ESXi host. Of course, if I have multiple ESXi hosts like a cluster, then I should select a volume which is shared one. It will take a while, like 5 to 10 minutes, as it says. Okay. Upload prepackaged volumes, and here it's asking for the password of root, and those prepackaged volumes are those templates VMDK files that it needs to upload. Upload 3 prepackaged volumes, data store 1, yes. Okay. And this is the summary of what we wanted to do. Say next. So app volumes is configured. We have specified Active Directory. We specify app volumes administrators. We have specified vCenter infrastructure details, and that's pretty much. So this is it. And in next step, what we'll do, we will install. Oh, sorry, we will provision Appstack. Sorry, we will provision Appstack. Yeah, we will provision. Sorry, we will provision Appstack. Okay, see you out there. Okay, I restart this target VM. If you remember, it was giving error before that virtualization is disabled because app volume manager is not configured. And after rebooting it, that message disappeared. The reason is now because App Volume Manager is configured, and this agent can now talk to App Volume Manager so it knows that it is configured. So that's why that error simply disappears. So this is my target device, means this is the virtual machine I will use to provision my applications. And the first step, of course, is to create Appstack, and for that we need to switch to App Volumes Manager. So let's do it. Okay, I'm here at App Volumes Manager under Appstacks, and I'll go for create Appstack, and here I need to specify a name. Let's say test Appstack. And storage, this is the data stored. I would like test Appstacks to be stored. Default path is okay with me. The template is okay with me. It's 20 gigs in size, and I'll say create. So creating Appstack call, which is whatever name is specified. Yeah, wait for completion, or it can be done in background, but I would prefer it to be done before we proceed. And here it is. Appstack created successfully. It's called Test Appstack, and right now it has no application. So next step is select the provisioning VM, and how we do that, when we say provision, it will say specify a computer account of a VM that you will be using for provisioning applications. And that's what it says also. Only computer with the app volume agent installed will be shown below. Computer must be running, have no Appstack attached or writable volume. Okay, so I think if I search, it will find this one, which is W10, and this is exactly the one which I want. And after selecting this computer account, I will say provision, and it will ask me start provisioning of Appstack, test Appstack on computer ID sense slash W10. W10 is the computer, and you know dollar indicates a computer account. Yes, start provisioning. and now it's attaching Appstack, which is a 20 gig disks of VMDK to this virtual machine, so that whatever we install will be saved on that. And now I'm back, and as you can see, the message appeared on this virtual machine, the target virtual machine, that you are now in provisioning mode. Click OK only after you have completely installed all applications you wish to provision to this Appstack. So don't click OK now. As far as the applications are concerned, I have mounted an ISO which has some applications which I would like to install. So what I would like to do, I would like to proceed with the installation of these applications. There is nothing fancy to watch here. So what I will do, I will pause the video and I will be back once I finish installing some applications. One important point I would like to mention, it just came in my mind while I was installing applications. Whenever you install application while you are provisioning in Appstack, make sure you install it for anyone or for all users, not just for the user that you are currently logged in as. Okay? Install it for all users. Okay, I have installed some applications. Some of the example are OpenOffice, FileZilla, Foxit Reader, and I have installed Photoshop, 7-zip sort of thing. I'm still in provisioning mode. So what we need to do, once we finish installing all applications, we need to stop provisioning. And how we need to stop provisioning? That's I will tell you now. But first thing first, I would like to do, to make sure there are no hiccups, I will definitely disconnect the CD drive from this virtual machine. So there are no connections, to any ISO and all that. No part of those connections, not part of any snapshotting or or any cloning whenever it's required. So once I disconnect the CD drive, which was in my case because I have the ISO mounted for applications to be installed, you can install over the network or whatever. And once you do that, of course, once I'm okay with installing all my applications, or when I'm okay that I have all my applications that I want to be in Appstack, I'll click OK, and that's what it says. Click OK only after you have completely installed all applications you wish to provision to this Appstack. So it's installation complete. System will reboot. Click yes to finish and reboot computer, and click no to continue provisioning. It's giving you another chance, but no. Thank you very much. Provisioning comes completed. So click yes. It means I'm done with provisioning. Now it's analyzing the installed applications, and your computer will now reboot. Please log in after restart to complete the provisioning process. Okay. I will. So now the system is restarting. I will pause the video briefly and I will resume it once I will log back in. Okay. After reboot, I log back in and there is a message with a thumbs up. Provisioning successful. Your newly provisioned application is now ready to use. Don't forget to revert your virtual machine to last known good before provisioning a new app. Press OK. So it means all done. Provisioning complete. So let's move to Appvolumes. And here we are. I'll refresh. And here it is. Test Appstack. File name is testappstack.vmdk. This is the size. And That's what it is at the moment with this Appstack. And so once we have this Appstack, which is desktop stacks, you can see, I just, did that just to refresh. You can see what applications are there. Next step is to assign this Appstack. Of course, once again, as a reminder, we can assign it to user accounts in Active Directory, computer accounts in Active Directory, groups in Active Directory, as well as organizational unit in Active Directory. But there is one more step missing in my case, which is, yes, installing App Volume agents on my golden image. I did install App Volume agent on provisioning VM, through which I provisioned these applications, but I did not install App Volume agent on my golden image, which is just a plain vanilla Windows 10 installation with some tweaks. So for this purpose, this is my VM that I would like to use, W10AD. And what I would like to do, I would like to install App Volume agent on this virtual machine. This is Windows 10 without any applications, just with some tweaks like join to domain, remote desktop enabled, some display settings changed, firewall is disabled. I mean, whatever I like to have in my corporate Windows 10 VDI environment, those settings are there. So what I'll do, I will install App Volume agent on this computer as well. Okay, I have installed my App Volume agent in this computer as well, and this is pretty much it. It has App Volume agent as well as Citrix Virtual Delivery agent, and it's a virtual machine, so of course we have VMware tools as well. That's it. No applications, no FileZilla, no Foxit Reader, no Adobe Acrobat, no Adobe Photoshop, and all those applications that I've installed on another target VM to provision Appstack. This is just Windows 10 as best. That's it. So that's it. That's what you need to do. Now the next step is, of course, I need to provision or create my catalog based on this virtual machine, which has Citrix VDI installed as well as App Volumes agent installed. No applications. Again, no applications. So I will create my catalog based on this virtual machine. And of course, how to create catalog, how to create delivery group, it's not part of this videos because you already know this. In case if you don't, you can always watch my previous videos in which I have covered in depth how to create machine catalogs and how to create delivery groups. So I will see you in the next stage when it's time to assign Appstack to users. Okay, now I have a machine catalog based on my master image, golden image, where we have Appstack agent installed, and I have created one delivery group, and that delivery group is assigned Um, I'm assigning those desktop to authenticated users, and we have on this computer I have a user called Steven Smith, which is logged into one of the desktop VDI Windows 10, and Steven Smith is using this Windows 10 desktop, and right now, as you can see, it has no applications whatsoever, just default installation of Windows 10, no applications at all. So what I'm going to do in order to test App Volumes, I'll go to App Volumes, and I will assign, we have one app stack here. I will assign this app stack to a user called Steven Smith, which is the user which is currently logged on over here. Let's say Steven Smith is working on his desktop, or let's say he logged into his VDI desktop and he urgently needs some applications. All he had to do is call the IT support or IT department and request for those applications. So what we can do, just let's say search for Steven Smith, and here this user account in Active Directory, and we can assign Appstack to his user account. Don't forget, you can assign Appstacks to user accounts, groups, computers, and OUs. So in this example, I'm assigning this Appstack to user account. Say assign. It will ask when you would like to assign this. Assign this to on next logon or reboot, or attach this Appstack immediately. And I must say, of course, if I say next logon or reboot, so whenever Steven Smith will log on next time or reboot his virtual desktop, he will get Appstack. And if I want Steven Smith to get this this Appstack immediately, then he needs to be logged into the VM, and which is the case here. As you can see, he's already logged in. There are no apps, and he's requesting those applications, and IT department is assigning those applications via Appstacks. So I would like to assign this Appstack immediately. So if I say assign, assigning and attaching, let's see, assign one Appstack and attach one Appstack. Let's see what happens. Keep in mind, I did not log off, I did not restart the computer, and boom, here he goes. You see, all of a sudden those application appears, and this is the beauty of App Volumes Appstacks, that the user doesn't even have to log off or restart the computer. If required, you can assign Appstack without the user hassle, the hassle for a user to going through restart or log on and log off. It can take effect immediately. So if I go to WinOffice, for example, it launches and launches good. Another thing, apps, Adobe Photoshop, and this was one of the applications that is part of my Appstack. Beautiful. Here we go. This is a test of using applications which are delivered using VMware App Volumes Appstacks. Awesome. So file, save as, save it somewhere in document, test, and as document. So I have created a document using OpenOffice and it's working absolutely fine. And here's the Photoshop. And this is the beauty of Appstacks. See, what we did first, of course, we installed App Volumes Manager, and then we need to have need to install App Volume Agent into the golden image as well as on a computer where you would like to, or computer or a virtual machine, I mean, which you would like to be used for provisioning applications. And once those applications are provisioned, Appstack, which is basically a VMDK, will be created. And whenever you will provision your virtual desktop using the golden image, keep in mind golden image is a blank, it has the Windows installation only, it doesn't have any applications. So whenever our desktop will be provisioned using golden image and your user will be logging in to those desktops, you can assign Appstacks using App Volumes Manager. So App Volumes, by using App Volume Manager, you can assign Appstacks to users' accounts, to groups, to organization unit or computer accounts. So once those assigned to users, user will get those applications here. As you can see, this is only C drive, which is the local drive of this. So this is it, guys. This is what Appstacks do, and it's beautiful. It's very simple to set up, and it works perfectly well. It's a very easy way to assign applications to users. Applications are not part of golden image. It's a separate VMDK that gets attached or to your virtual desktops and present applications in the background in a layered approach. I hope you like this demonstration. Okay, this is another test of Appstacks or App Volumes, you can say. This time, Stephen Smith is logging to virtual desktop, which is a kind of static. Means, like for example, if I can just show you real quick. I have two catalogs. One is the random type, right? And user data discard means user logs off, changes are lost. And another type are static, in which a user have a personal vdisk. I'm not using roaming profiles or Citrix profile. The user have personal vdisk, so whatever the user, what files will create will save on personal vdisks. I created two types of machine catalogs because if you remember, App disks feature from Citrix requires machine catalog to be random type and data discard. The caching needs to be disabled. However, app volumes, as per my testing, works for both type of catalogs, whether it's a random or it's static. So similarly, I have two delivery groups. One delivery group for static, based on the static machine catalog, and one delivery group for the random machine catalog. And here right now, I am connected to VDI static Windows 10, and as you can see, I have pretty much, I can access all my Appstack applications, because in App Volumes you are assigning application to a user, to an Active Directory user or Active Directory group or Active Directory OU or a computer account, regardless of a catalog. And that's the beauty of it. So Stephen Smith is logged into this VDI delivery group, and this VDI is a static desktop. But as long as Stephen Smith is entitled to or has been assigned some Appstacks, he will get those applications. And keep this in mind, we are just talking about Appstacks at the moment, which are read-only. There is something in App Volumes called writable volumes, where App Volumes will also allow you, there will be an additional disk that will be created. So whenever the user will install and some applications in addition to those applications which are published to user through Appstack or delivered to user through Appstack, those applications will be saved. Whenever user will install it, will be saved to a separate disk. For example, I have Adobe Photoshop, right? This has been delivered to a user as well as OpenOffice or Foxit Reader or FileZilla. These applications are delivered to the user via App Volume Appstacks. But let's say I want to install another application, let's say KeyPass 2 or Microsoft Office or whatever, any other application or utility. That functionality will be a part of writable volumes. So if I give a writable volume or create a writable volume, and a user install an application which was not originally, provisioned using Appstack, user installed application will not become a part of Appstack. It will be written to writable volumes. It will be available to user, of course, but it will be a separate VMD. Anyway, that's another thing, but I have tested App Volumes Appstack with static type of VDI assignments as well as random type. Keep this in mind. App disk works only with the random type, and App Volumes is working in static as well as in random type. And that's a big plus. Functionality wise, I don't find any difference. I can launch the application the same way. This App Volume Appstack test with static assignment. Just excuse my spelling. Just a test. Previously, I saved one document in a random type of delivery group. It's not there. Why? Because random. It was random and it discard data. So as long as I logged off, data is gone. But here, test. I'm saving it. Okay, it's static type. Right, and I close this application, and just to let you know, here two types of delivery groups. VDI tag, this is the random one with the data discard, and this is the static one which I currently logged in. That's the first one that I used in the demo. And this is the second one which I am in right now. So I saved it. I work with the application, so I will sign out. I'm using an static at Citrix personal vdisk. Of course, you can use Citrix profiles if you like, or you can use even from App Volumes perspective, you can even use writable volumes. Whatever works for you. So I logged off, and now I will log back in again. I'll just give like a minute or two for desktop to be ready. Okay, now I'm logging back in. VDI static means the same desktop, and my data should be there. I did find my applications which are, assigned to this user, to me, Stephen Smith, via Appstacks. That's fine. So if I go to documents, yes, I have my file. So if I open it up, I'm using OpenOffice. It's an application I published via Appstacks. See, with a static assignment. Great. Absolutely fantastic. So it proves that Appstacks, though which are readable containers, they can be used with static VDI as well as random VDI, and Appstacks you can use along with Citrix static VDI with a Citrix personal virtual disk, or you can even use, let's say for example, Citrix profiles where it will be saved somewhere on the network. Cool stuff. Great stuff. So guys, this is it, and I hope you liked my demonstration of VMware App Volumes and how to install and configure App Volumes and use App Volumes in Citrix VDI or along with Citrix VDI. I hope you like this demonstration, and thank you for watching.